Give us an example, Keith, of what some of the car makers are doing.
Yeah, they're really trying to reach out to this young tech talent, Vonnie. They're doing complete makeovers of their campuses here in Detroit to make them look a little more like Silicon Valley. They're also loosening up on their old rigid work practices, and you can work from home in your pajamas. You can come in late, leave early, and they're trying to match the pay of Silicon Valley, but that's kind of a stretch still.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, obviously pay is a major contributing factor. Nonetheless, it is Detroit, so it might be a little bit cheaper to live in than Silicon Valley. Tell us about Victoria Shine and how she made her decision.
Yeah, so that's a young engineer that we quote in the story today, and she's from California. She calls herself a California girl. She had two very good offers from Silicon Valley. She chose to come here to Detroit because she says she's, a car girl. She likes cars, but she also liked this lower cost of living. You can get more home for your money here. Your dollar goes a little farther here than it does in high-cost Silicon Valley. So she says she wants to stay here.
Yeah, Keith, by the way, I love the story. I mean, Sergio Marchionne, he gives it a bit of a reality check, doesn't it? I mean, can you really replicate Silicon Valley in Detroit?
Yeah, he sees it as a fool's errand, Mark. He said, well, for one thing, you have the weather problem. It's a lot colder here in Detroit for most of the year than it is in Silicon Valley. But he also thinks just attracting the amount of capital and the amount of talent here to Detroit would be a tall task. And he says he has no intention of replicating Silicon Valley in Detroit.
It's tricky, isn't it? You get... What are the signing bonuses in the Valley, Keith? I mean, they're pretty good, aren't they? I mean, Detroit surely can't compete with those. That's
for sure, Mark. So you can get $1 million signing bonus if you're, straight out of engineering school, straight out of Stanford. That's just not something Detroit is set up to handle. This is a sort of a seniority-based town. You earn that money over decades. You don't get it straight out of school. So it's hard for Detroit to wrap its head around that kind of compensation.